So now that we have gone inland, we start thinking about, okay, well, is there any precedent? And initially I didn't think that there was. And I was reminded when I started doing my research,
Mhm.
and the same thing with Lou when he was doing his
Right.
research. In 1989, in a little country called Panama,
Panama.
there was a gentleman by the
Panama.
name of Mr. Noriega. And Mr. Noriega was he was a general in their military, from my recollection.
Leader de
Um,
facto, you
the
know.
well, the president at the time in Panama thought he would, Noriega needed to go, dismissed him, but Noriega wouldn't go. There was a coup. They ousted the president. There was an election. Noriega, basically took the reins and then openly declared war on the United States and other things that he said, which triggered then President George H.W. Bush
Right.
to go in a couple of days later with the might of the United States military. And if I may, because this was the basis for a legal action and the precedent that we're going to talk about now. But at that point in time, within days of the announcement by Noriega that they are going to war with the United States, President George Bush directed the United States Armed Forces into combat in Panama for the stated purposes of safeguarding American lives, restoring democracy, preserving the Panama Canal Treaty, seizing Noriega to face federal drug charges in the United States. And that last one is very important because Mr. Noriega had been indicted in a federal court for drug trafficking, money laundering, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So the United States went in and got him and brought him back.
And for
And
anyone that doesn't listen to Styx, Renegade, just listen to that and do a Google search of Noriega and Renegade, and you'll find some funny facts. But
so, ironically, the United States went into Panama on January 3rd, 1990. So 36 years, almost basically to the day,
right,
we go into Venezuela. Now, Mr. Noriega was, again, brought to justice in the federal courts here in the United States, and he was found guilty and he appealed. And the precedent for what we're talking about now and what the present administration here is relying on, is the United States v. Noriega. This is an 11th Circuit Court of Appeals case that was decided on July 7th, 1997. So 7 years after he was brought here, it went all through the trial and the appeals, and they finally got this thing done. And in the appeal, the federal, the first number of defenses raised, or at least issues to his conviction, Mr. Noriega and his attorneys basically said that the government here in the United States didn't have any jurisdiction taking him. You unlawfully took me. This whole thing should be thrown out. I was the leader of the country, whether a duly elected leader or de jure, and therefore you have no jurisdiction getting me, because he says he has head of state immunity. And when you read the decision, which I hadn't read before today, it really is quite surprising. I don't want to say how it's not flippant, but how dry and calculated the judges were on the 11th Circuit by saying, cutting down each one of his claims of issues to appeal one by one, just cutting them off at the knees, basically saying foreign sovereign immunity doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you got here, even though it may seem on its face and people are shocked and, oh my God, you invaded my country. How you got to the federal court, if you were previously indicted, you're here now, we're going to take this up.
Right. And I